Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining in for our everyday Kartik session. Today we are on day 3 of Bhishma Panchaka Vrata. Day after tomorrow is the most auspicious Kartik Purnima, where we want to also celebrate Tulasi Shaligram Vivaha, very wonderful festival. And after seeing the moon, after having darshan of the moon, I heard from senior devotees that His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj will actually first offer kheer to the deities, and then we offer the kheer to the moon, by just holding it like this to the moon for some time. And then we invite Vaishnavas, we invite devotees, we invite our neighbors, we invite our friends, offer them all kheer, do Damodar Ashtakam in the evening, and then we break our fast. So like that. All right. So today we are on the second last day, which means we are on the Bhishma Panchaka third day. I hope everyone offered sandalwood paste, gandha, either manasika or you can just offer sandalwood like that to their lordships, Shri Yashoda Damodar, Radha Damodar, like that. All right, so we'll start with prayer. Soma Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatharubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Dadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatrapa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Hadi Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna. So we thank all the devotees once again. We will quickly go on to our study of Srila Prabhupada's book. We are studying Raja Vidya, the king of all knowledge. Right? So we actually completed the second chapter yesterday, which was the knowledge of samsara, right? How to transcend the threefold miseries of this world, Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik, and Adhidevi Kleshas, and how to get over the four actual problems, namely birth, death, disease, and old age. So in this way, we were saying, what is the way? The way to go back to the anti-material world is to engage in anti-material activities like Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Mandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Now we are going on to the third chapter. Third chapter is about the knowledge of Krishna's energies. You know that Krishna has got several Shaktis, right? And if you have to divide them, basically it is Bahiranga Shakti, which is external energy, which is Maya Devi. And then the Antaranga Shakti, which is Srimati Radharani herself, the internal pleasure potency of the Lord. And then we are all Tatastha Shakti of the Lord, right? Tatastha Shakti means we are marginal energy of the Lord. Marginal energy means sometimes we are inclined towards serving the internal energy of the Lord, and sometimes we are inclined towards serving the external energy of the Lord. So in that way, we are the Tatastha or the marginal Shakti of the Lord. Like the all example is always given of Tata. Tata means the banks of the ocean, right? Radha Kunda Tata Kunja Kutir, right? There's this wonderful kutir at the banks of Radha Kund. So banks mean sometimes, like in the beach, like in the beach also, we have the shore. That sometimes, that beach is wet, sometimes it's dry. Similarly, as marginal energies of the Lord, sometimes we're inclined towards bhakti, towards serving internal pleasure potential of the Lord, and sometimes we're inclined towards serving Maya. But our endeavor should always be that we serve the Antaranga Shakti of the Lord, which means we engage in Anusha, what is that? Anya Bilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadya Navratam Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. We engage in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, following in the footsteps of our Vaishnava Acharyas and render service to the Lord that is favorable. What is favorable for our devotional practices, like that. Okay, so now we are going ahead with chapter 3 of this book, which is entitled the knowledge of Krishna's energies. What are the energies of the Lord, like that? So, yeah, Karpagoli Mataji, go ahead. Oh, 1 second. I have to, yeah. Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. On the knowledge of Krishna's energy. It may be noted that at this point that the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is especially meant for those who have already accepted Sri Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, it is meant for his devotees. If one does not accept Sri Krishna as a Supreme, this 9th chapter will appear as something different from what it actually is. As stated in the beginning, that the subject matter of the 9th chapter is the most confidential material in the entire Bhagavad Gita. If one doesn't accept Krishna as a supreme, he will think the chapter to be a mere exaggeration. This is especially the case with the verses dealing with Krishna's relationship with his creation. Maya tatam idam sarvam.
Maya, it's not Maya. Maya. Maya tatam idam sarvam.
Maya tatam idam sarvam. Jagat avyata murtina. Matstani sarvabhutani nashayam stave avishiti. Aham tesa avastitha. By me in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Bhagavad Gita 9.4. The world we see is also Krishna's energy, is Maya. Here Maya means by me.
No, Maya. See, you can see that there is a line on top of A in the first line. He sees also Krishna's energy, his Maya. Okay. Here, Maya means by me. So the same Maya is pronounced differently because it's different meanings there. Okay, Mataji.
Okay.
Maya is the external energy of the Lord. Maya means Krishna saying, by me, this entire work is done. Maya tatam idam sarvam, jagad abhyakta murti. Yes, go ahead.
Maya means by me, as if one says, this work has been done by me. This by me does not mean that he has done his work and has finished or retired. If I started a large factory and say, this factory was started by me, in no case should it be concluded and I am lost or in any way not present. Although a manufacturer may refer to his products as being manufactured by me, it does not mean that he personally created or constructed his product, but that product was produced by his energy. Similarly, if Krishna says, whatever you see in the world was created by me, we are not to suppose that he is no longer existing. It is not very difficult to see God everywhere in the creation, for he is everywhere present. Just as a Ford factory, the workers see Mr. Ford in every corner, Those who are conversant with the science of Krishna can see him in every atom of the creation. Everything is resting on Krishna. Matshani Sarva Udani. But Krishna is not there. Not Chayamsa Avishyati. Krishna and his energy are not different, yet the Krishna, but yet the energy is not Krishna. The sun and the sunshine are not different, but the sunshine is not the sun. The sunshine may come through our window and enter our room, but this is not to say that the sun is in our room. In the Vishnu Purana states, Parasya Brahmana Taktihi. Parasya means supreme. Brahmana means absolute truth. Sakti means the energy. The energy of the supreme absolute is everything, but in that energy, the Krishna is not to be found. There
Hare
are
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So let us discuss this. Right? So Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murthina. Maya tatam. Maya tatam means everything is resting upon me. Right? I am the source of all the creation. Right? Matsthani sarva bhutani. Everything is resting upon me. Na chaham teshvavastitah. So it seems contradictory, right? So it is said that all the contradictions actually end with Krishna, right? We cannot say that I am existing here and I'm also existing in Vashi, right? We cannot say that. Why? Because I can be at one time, I can be existent in only one place. But the Lord can be omnipresent at all times. He is present in my heart as a super soul. He is present in Karpagvali's Mataji heart as a super soul. He is present inside the house. He is present outside the house. He is already also present in Archa Vigraha form in the temple, right? So the Lord can be omnipresent. The Lord can be present in different places at the same time. That is, Matstani sarva bhutani na chaham teshvavastitah. Just because the Lord is present in the deity, we cannot say the Lord is not present anywhere else. Just like we human beings are present only in one place, the Lord is not subject to such a kind of limitation. Right? So the Lord is present, omnipresent. That means He's present everywhere and He is the source of this world. And at the same time, the Lord is present as the energy. Like Prabhupada gives a very beautiful example here of the sunshine. Right? When the sun is there, the sunshine penetrates and comes through the window. That means we have sunshine inside the house. Does that mean the sun is inside our house? No. Does it mean the sun is not there in our house? No, because the sun in the form of sunshine is still inside our home. Right? That's why we're able to see things because of the shine of the sun. Right? That's why Krishna says, Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhashmi shashi shoryayo. I am the splendor of the sun and the moon. Right? So when Krishna enters into our home in the form of sunshine, then Krishna is present in that sunshine. Yet that sunshine itself, the sun itself is not present in the home. Similarly, Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita, Sutra Gane Maniva. That means when you see that all of the universes are perfectly created and all of them are moving without dashing with each other, without creating accidents, right? Krishna is saying that each of those pearls represent the various material universes. And Krishna is the thread behind the universes. We're able to see the universes, we're not able to see Krishna. Does it mean that thread is not there? If there is no thread, will our mala stay? No, right? It'll all get scattered off. All the pearls will get scattered. But all the pearls are held together and that beautiful necklace is there because of the string that is actually carrying it. Similarly, Lord Sri Krishna is the basis in which this material world is entirely functioning. At the same time, Krishna is not equal to this material creation. Krishna is the source of the material creation, yet Krishna is transcendental to the material creation. Just like the sun is inside the home in the form of sunshine, yet the sun is transcendental. The sun is way above our purview, like that. So Vishnu Purana states, Parasya Brahmanaha Shaktihi. Parasya means supreme, Brahmana means absolute truth, Shaktihi means energy. So the energy of the supreme absolute is everything. But in that energy, Krishna is not to be found. Krishna is the source of the energy, but Krishna, we cannot say that Krishna is that energy only. Krishna is not limited by that particular energy, like that. All right. Anyone else wants to read? Okay, so I'll just continue reading. There are two kinds of energy, right? One is material energy and the spiritual energy. One second. Yeah, Shruti Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna. There are
Hare
two
Krishna.
kinds of energy. material and spiritual. Jivas or individual souls belong to the superior energy of Krishna, but because they are prone to be attracted to the material energy, they are called the marginal energy. But actually, there are only two energies. All of the planetary systems and universes are resting on the energies of Krishna. Just as all the planets in the solar system are resting in the sunshine, everything within the creation is resting on Krishna's shine. All of these potencies of the Lord give pleasure to a devotee, but one who is envious of Krishna rejects them. When one is a non devotee, Krishna's statements seem to be so much bluff, but when one is a devotee, he thinks, oh, my Lord is so powerful, and he becomes filled with love and adoration. Non devotees think that because Krishna says, I'm God, they and everyone else can say the same. But if asked to show their universal form, they cannot do it. There is a difference between a pseudo God and the real God. Krishna's pastimes cannot be imitated. Krishna married over 16,000 wives and kept them nicely in 16,000 palaces. But an ordinary man cannot keep even one wife nicely. It is not that Krishna just spoke so many wonderful things, he also acted wonderfully. We should not believe one thing that Krishna says or does and reject another. If belief is there, it must be full belief. In this regard, there is a story of Narada Muni who was once asked by a Brahmana, oh, you are going to meet the Lord. Will you please ask him when I am going to get my salvation? All right, Narada agreed. I shall ask him. As Narada proceeded, he met a cobbler who was sitting under a tree mending shoes, and the cobbler similarly asked Narada, oh, you are going to see God. Will you please inquire of him which when my salvation will come? When Narada Muni went to the Vaikuntha planets, he fulfilled their request and asked Narayana God about the salvation of the Brahmana and the cobbler. And Narayana replied, after leaving this body, the cobbler shall come here to me. What about the Brahmana? Narada asked. He will have to remain there for a number of births. I do not know when he is coming. Narada Muni was astonished and he finally said, I can't understand the mystery of this. That you will see, Narayana said. When they ask you what I am doing in my abode, tell them I am threading the eye of a needle with an elephant. When Narada returned to earth and approached the Brahmana said, oh, you have seen the Lord. What was he doing? He was threading the elephant through the eye of a needle, Narada answered. I don't believe such nonsense, the Brahmana replied. Narada could immediately understand that the man had no faith and that he was simply a reader of books. Narada then left and went on to the cobbler who asked him, oh, you have seen the Lord. Tell me what was he doing? He was threading an elephant through the eye of a needle. Narada replied. The cobbler began to weep. Oh, my Lord is so wonderful, he can do anything. Do you really believe that the Lord can push an elephant through the hole of a needle? Narada asked. Why not? The cobbler said. Of course I believe it. How is that? You can see that I'm sitting under this banyan tree, the cobbler answered. And you can see that so many fruits are falling daily. And each seed there is a banyan tree like this one. If within a small seed there can be a big tree like this, is it difficult to accept that the Lord is pushing an elephant through the eye of a needle? So this is called faith. It is not a question of blindly believing. There
Oh,
is
sorry. Yes, go ahead.
There is a reason behind the belief. If Krishna can put a large tree within so many little seeds, is it so astounding that he is keeping all the planetary systems floating in space through his energy? Although
Hare
scientists may
Krishna. Thank
think,
you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. So this is a very, very important lesson on faith, right? So the Brahmana and the cobbler, both of them had the same question, right? Generally, what do we expect? We expect that, oh, the Brahmana will go back home, back to Godhead in this lifetime, right? But the Lord said the cobbler will come back in this lifetime, but the Brahmana will take many, many lifetimes, right? We are quite surprised. And then the Lord himself explains it. Even Narada Muni was surprised, right? How can the Brahmana take more lifetimes than the cobbler? Because the cobbler is just, stitching the shoes and all that. Brahmana is reciting Vedic mantras, studying the Vedic scriptures, right? But whatever we do, that is why Prabhupada has named our institution International Society for Krishna Consciousness. It all depends on what is the consciousness, what is our consciousness as we perform our various activities. Right? We see from this beautiful example how it is clearly said that the Brahmana didn't have faith in the Lord. Right? He could not believe the Lord could put an elephant into the eye of a needle, right? And then the cobbler is able to believe immediately, and the cobbler is explaining how when the entire banyan tree which comes out of a seed, right, from a small seed, if an entire banyan tree can come, why can the Lord not put an elephant into the eye of a needle? So similarly, nothing is impossible for the Lord, right? Some people ask the question, right? Can God lift a stone that he cannot? Can Lord create a stone that he cannot lift up, and like that? So somebody asked Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, and Prabhu said, yes, the Lord can create a stone that he cannot lift, and when he wants, he will lift it also. Right? Because the Lord is inconceivable. He can do inconceivable things. We cannot limit the Lord's energies to what we think and comprehend by our tiny material brain, isn't it? So in this way, the Brahmana could not believe that the Lord could do all these things. That the Lord could actually put an elephant into the eye of a needle. Right? That is just an illustration for us to understand what is our level of faith. Right? Do we believe that the Lord can do anything and everything? The Lord can, it says, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name vakta pranashati. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Even if a person is completely sinful, even such a person, if he engages in the process of devotional service, the Lord can immediately make that person a sadhu. Kshipram means very easily, very quickly. Right? Kshipram bhavati dharmatma. Such a person can also become a great saintly person if that person engages in devotional service with faith. And then Prabhupada is also talking about how this faith is cultivated, right? As we go through the next paragraphs, we're going to see how this faith is cultivated, right? The faith is cultivated with the study of the scriptures, but like the Brahmana who could not cultivate faith even with the study of scriptures, because we are not going to study with our material intelligence. How are we going to study and understand the scriptures? Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Right? We are going to understand the scriptures not with our eyes, but with our ears. Right? Even when we go for Dham Darshan, we are not going to see what with our material eyes. What can we see with our eyes? Right? Even in Prabhupada's Lilamrita, there was once Prabhupada's spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, took everybody to for parikrama. At that time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj was giving a class. And at that time, devotees were also going for darshan of the Seshashai Vishnu. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj in the class, he said only Srila Prabhupada and a couple of sannyasis were there. And everybody had left for the temple. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was saying, what can they see with their material eyes, right? So we cannot see who is the Lord, how is the Lord looking with our material eyes. We need to get the Jnana Chakshusha from the spiritual master. That is why we know the Dham, you understand the Dham, the Leela, the Guna of the Supreme Personality of Godhead through our ears. We don't hear, we don't see through our eyes and understand, right? That is why it is said, Pratyaksha Praman, Anumana Praman, right? What is Pratyaksha Praman? Pratyaksha Praman means what I see only is what I believe. Anumana Praman means we just have our own assumptions. Oh, this is how it works, like that. But what is the best way of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead is through Shabda Praman. That means we hear from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we try to understand the Vedic scriptures. Dharmam tu sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam, right? What is given in the scriptures is what we try to understand, but not with our eyes, but we try to understand through the mode of hearing from a bona fide spiritual master, right? So let's continue. Anyone else wants to read? Shobhami Mataji, go ahead. Although scientists may think, Hare Krishna, Danat Pranam Mataji. Yes, go ahead.
1 second. Mataji. Although scientists may think that the planets are being held in space simply by nature alone, behind nature there is a supreme Lord. Nature is acting under his guidance, as Sri Krishna states. Maya dakshena prakrite suyate.
Maya dakshena, Maya, by me.
Yes, Mataji. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate cha sa charam hetuna nena kaunteya jagat vipare vartate. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and producing all moving and unmoving beings under its rule. This manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Maya Dhayakshena means
Maya Dakshena.
Maya Dakshena means under my supervision. Material nature cannot act so wonderfully unless the Lord's hand is behind it. We cannot give any example of material things automatically working. Matter is inert, and without the spiritual touch, there is no possibility of its acting. Matter cannot act independently or automatically. Machines may be very wonderfully constructed, but unless a man touches that machine, it cannot work. And what is that man? He is spiritual spark. Without spiritual touch, nothing can move. Therefore, everything is resting on Krishna's impersonal energy. Krishna's energy is impersonal, but he is a person. We often hear of persons performing wonderful actions, yet, despite their energetic accomplishments, they still remain persons. If this is possible for human beings, why isn't it possible for the Supreme Lord? We are all persons, but we are all dependent on Krishna, the Supreme Person. We have often seen pictures of Atlas, a stout man bearing a large planet on his shoulders and struggling very hard to hold it up. We may think that because Krishna is maintaining the universe, he is struggling under its burden like Atlas. But this is not the case. Na cha mach sthani bhutani pashya ma yogam
Pashyame,
aishwaram.
pashyame. Pashya means to see. Nacha matsthani bhutani. That means although everything is created by me, they rest in me, but I don't rest in them, right? And pashyame yogam aishwaram. Look at my yogam aishwaram. Look at my material opulence, my mystical opulence. That means nobody can understand the opulence of the Lord. Bhuta bhrinnacha bhutasto. Bhuta bhrin means I am the maintainer of all the living entities. And bhutasto, that means I am situated all over this material world. Mamatma bhuta bhavanaha. Yet I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. Yeah, go ahead with the
Yes.
translation. And yet everything that is created.
And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. Although all beings in the universe are resting in Krishna's energy, still they are not in him. Krishna is maintaining all living entities and his energy is all pervading, yet he is elsewhere. This is Krishna's inconceivable mystic power. He is everywhere, yet he is aloof with everything. We cannot perceive his energy, but we cannot see him because he cannot be seen with material eyes. However, when we develop our spiritual qualities, we sanctify our senses so that even within this energy we can see him. Electricity, for instance, is everywhere, and an electrician is capable of utilizing it. Similarly, the energy of the Supreme Lord is everywhere. And when we become transcendentally situated, we can see God eye to eye everywhere. Spiritualization of the senses is possible through devotional service and love of God. The Lord is all pervading throughout the universe and is within the soul, the heart, water, air, everywhere. Thus, if we make an image of God in anything, clay, stone, wood, or whatever, it should not be considered to be just a doll. That image is also God. If we have sufficient devotion, the image will speak to us. God is everywhere, impersonally. Maya tatam idam sarvam. But if we make his personal form from anything, or if we create an image of God within ourselves, he will be present personally for us. In the Shastras, there are 8 kinds of images recommended, and any kind of image can be worshipped because God is everywhere. One may protest and ask, why should God be worshipped in images and not in his original spiritual form? The answer is that we cannot see God immediately in his spiritual form. With our material eyes, we can only see stone, earth, wood, something tangible. Therefore, Krishna comes as the Archa form, conveniently present by the Supreme Lord in order for us to see him. The result is that if we concentrate on the image and make offerings with love and devotion, Krishna will respond through the image.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
So,
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. So here, very, very beautifully, Prabhupada has made a very beautiful point that although the Lord is present everywhere, yet he is a person, right? Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes, right? And Prabhupada gives an example of how a machine is there. The machine cannot work on its own. There has to be a person who has to operate that particular machine. Similarly, the jada or the material planets or the creation of this material world, like for example, the tree, the chair, can they do things on their own? No. Only when there is a living entity or a living spark that is actually touching and operating them, only then they can move. Can a chair move from one place to another on its own? Cannot. Right? But when a living entity actually moves the chair from one place to another, then only the material objects can move. So everything requires a spiritual touch or the presence of a jiva, before they can actually act. And then Prabhupada goes on to say about how the Lord is the supreme. The Lord is a personality, a person. He has a form. Similarly, like we also have a form, right? We are individuals. We have a form. We have 2 hands. We have 2 legs. We walk. We talk. Right? Similarly, the Lord is the Rishikesha. That means he is the master of the senses. How can he be Nirguna? Right? When we say that the Lord is Nirguna, like the Lord is described as Nirguna in the Vedas. So what is mentioned by that Nirguna? Nirguna means the Lord does not have any material senses. The Lord does not have any material, nothing about the Lord is material, because the Lord is spiritually situated at all times, right? Sometimes we kind of come under the influence of Maya, right? Mahatmanastu Bam Partha Daivim Prakritamashritah. The great sages, they always take shelter of the the internal pleasure potency of the Lord, which is Srimati Radharani. But what do we do? Marginal entities, like we explained in the beach, sometimes there's water and sometimes there is no water. Sometimes in the banks of the river there is water and sometimes there is no water. Similarly, when we are performing activities, sometimes you are trying to exploit Maya and sometimes we are going to serve Krishna. Sometimes you are serving Krishna. So we are the material energy of the Lord. So we become influenced by the external energy of the Lord. Right? Maya, we come under the influence of Maya. And sometimes we engage in sense gratification. But the Lord is the Lord of Maya also. So how can the Lord be subject to Maya? The Lord cannot never be subject to Maya. Right? Daivi hayesha gunamayi mama Maya duratyaya. Krishna is saying mama Maya. Right? This Maya, Devi, is my energy. Right? Mama Maya duratyaya. And he also tells us how to get out of the control of Maya. How do we get out of the control of Maya? Mameva ye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. Right? One who surrenders unto me, Krishna is saying, will be able to transcend the 3 modes of material nature. Will be able to transcend Maya. Right? So when we want to transcend the 3 modes of material nature, or we want to see that spiritual form of the Lord, we have to first practice bhakti by hearing, by chanting, by offering worship to the Lord, by singing the prayers of the Lord, by singing bhajans for the glorification of the Lord. In this way, we purify our heart. When our heart gets purified, then we'll be able to see the Lord sitting in our heart all the time as Paramatma. Then Prabhupada goes on to explain about Archa Vigraha Seva. Right? Shraddhaya Murtira Sevana. That is one of the angas of bhakti that is given by Rupa Goswami. One of the 5 angas of bhakti. Actually, 64 angas of bhakti are there. Then, important among them, 5 important angas are given, which we have to do every day. Bhagavata Shravana, Nama Sankirtana, what is that? Sadhu Sangha, and Shraddhaya Murtira Sevana, and Mathura Vasa. Right? These 5 things are given. Right? Out of which, most important, one of the angas of bhakti, right? Most important, of course, is chanting Hare Krishna. That is Yuga Dharma for the age of Kali. But out of the important 5 angas, there is this Shri Murtaya Shraddhaya Sevana. Right? When we worship the deities, you have to worship them with faith. Right? Faith is what has moved mountains. Like we should remember the story of the Brahmana and the cobbler that we read just now, right? So with faith, when we worship the Archa Vigraha form of the Lord, the manifestation of the Lord in the form of wood, Daru Brahma, right? Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, they are in the form of wood, Daru Brahma, or they are in the form of metal, like we have Gaurnita deities, our Laddu Gopal deities are in the form of metal, right? They are all made of earth, water, fire, air, ether. But when the Prana Pratishtha is done, or when we worship the Lord with faith in our home, the Lord personally descends into that form of Archa Vigraha, and in this way there is reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. So we cannot say that since they are made out of earth, water, fire, air, ether, they are made out of material substances, the Lord is not there. No. We can see so many instances how there is reciprocation between the Lord and his devotees, right? Like His Grace Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajangri Prabhu, right? They stay in Mayapur. They are Western bodied, born in the Western world, but they've been living so many years in Mayapur Dham, like until recently, where Pankajangri Prabhu left his body. Right? Jananivas Prabhu still continuing as a pujari. Right? They give so many instances how Radha Madhav, Narsinghadev, they have the personal interaction with Radha Madhav and Narsinghadev, like that. Right? So as much as we have Shraddha Have faith in the in worshipping the Lord, in understanding and knowing that the Lord is here. The Lord is sitting in front of me. The Lord is accepting my worship. The Lord is hearing and enjoying the bhajans that I sing for the Lord. Now, to that extent, the Lord will reciprocate. Right now, Prabhupada is going to talk about Sakshi Gopal pastime. Right, how a person actually made Lord the witness in order to prove something basis the discussion they had. So we'll study that now. Anybody wants to read? We'll end with this. Oh, time is 6:40. Okay, fine. So we will read this tomorrow then. So here, what are we trying to understand? We are trying to understand that the Lord is a person. That is why we want to engage in the service of the Lord, right? If the Lord were impersonal effulgence, only light, then where is the concept of servitor and the served and the served? Right? We are engaged in the service of the Lord because the Lord is the supreme person. Right? Rishikesha, Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam Bhaktiruchate. When we engage our senses Rishikena in the service of the master of the senses Rishikesha, that is what is called bhakti. So we have this material senses, but if we spiritualize the senses by engaging it in the service of the Lord, that is what is called bhakti. That is what is called devotional service. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Now we'll quickly go on to our recitations. First we will do a recitation of chapter 12 of the Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Chapter 12, Devotional Service, Text 1. Arjuna Uvacha. Evam satata yukta ye bhakta swam paryupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaah. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Maya veshamano ye mam nityayukta upasate shraddhaya parayopeta steme yukta tamamataah. Etvaksharam anirdesham avyaktam paryupasate sarvatragam achintyam cha kutastam achalam dhruvam sanniyam yendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayah te prapnuvanti mamiva sarvabhuta hite rataah. Klesho adhigatarastesham avyakta saktachetesam avyakta hi gatir dukkham deha vidviravapyate yetu sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya matparaah ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्यु संसार सागरात् भवामी न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशित चेतसाम् मय्येव मन आदत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः अत चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय अभ्यासेऽपि समर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थम् अभिकर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिम् अवाप्स्यसि अतएतत् अपि अशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्म फलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान् श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानं विशिष्यते ज्ञानात् कर्म फलत्यागस्त्यागा शान्तिरनन्तरम् अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःख सुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितः मनोबुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तसमे प्रियः यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षमर्षवयोद्वेगे मुक्तो य स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्ष शुचिर्दक्षा उदासीनो गतव्यतः सर्व आरंभ परित्यागी यो मद्भक्तसमे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभा परित्यागी भक्तिमान् य स मे प्रियः समसच्रौत मित्रे च समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानपमानयोः शीतोष्णा सुखदुःखेषु समसंग विवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दा सुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर् भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्मामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाधान मत्परमा भक्तास्तेति मे प्रियः हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे I will recite from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter number 31, entitled The Gopis' Songs of Separation. It's also called as Gopi Geetam. Gopya Uchuhu Jayati Tedikam Krishna Janmana Vraja Shrayata Indira Krishna Shashwadatrahi Daita Drishyatam Krishna Dikshutavakas Tvaidrita Savas Krishna Tvam Vichinvate Sharadudashaye Krishna Sadhu Jatasat Sarasi Jodhara Krishna Shri Mushadrisha Suratanatate Krishna Shulkadasika Paradanighnato Krishna Neha Kimbada Vishajalaapyayad Krishna Vyala Rakshasad Varshamarutat Krishna Vaidyutanalat Vishamayatmajat Krishna Vishwato Bhayat Vishabhate Vayam Krishna Rakshita Moho Nakalu Gopika Krishna Nandano Bhavan Akila Dehinam Krishna Antaratmadrik Vikanasartito Krishna Vishwaguptaye Sakaudeyivan Krishna Satvatam Kule Virachita Bhayam Krishna Vrishni Dhuryate Charanami Yusham Krishna Samshruter Bhayat Karasaroruham Krishna Kanta Kamadam Shirasi Dehina Krishna Shri Karagraham Rajajanartihan Krishna Veera Yoshitam Nijajanasmaya Krishna Dvamsanasmitha Bhajasa ke bhavat Krishna Kinkari smano Chalaruhananam Krishna Charu Darshaya Pranata Dehinam Krishna Papakarshanam Trinacharanugam Krishna Sriniketanam Fanifanarpitam Krishna Te Padambujam Trunupucheshuna Krishna Krindi Hrichayam Madhuraya Gira Krishna Valguvakyaya Buddhamanognaya Krishna Pushkare Kshana Virikaririma Krishna Viramuyati Adarasi Dhuna Krishna Pyayayasvana Tavakatamritam Krishna Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Krishna Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Krishna Srimadatam Vigrananti Krishna Bhurida Janah Prahasitam Priya Krishna Prema Vikshanam Viharanam Chate Krishna Dhyana Mangalam Rahasi Samvido Krishna Yahradi Sprushah Kuhakano Mana Krishna Kshobayantihi Chalasi Advrajaj Krishna Charayan Pashun Nalina Sundaram Krishna Natate Padam Shrilatrunankurai Krishna Sidati Tina Kalilatam Mana Krishna Kanta Gacchati Dina Parikshaye Krishna Neela Kuntalair Vanaruhananam Krishna Bibradavritam Ganarajaswalam Krishna Darshayan Mihor Manasi Nasmaram Krishna Veera Yachasi Pranata Kamadam Krishna Padmajarchitam Dharani Mandanam Krishna Deyamapadi Charana Pankajam Krishna Shantamam Chate Ramananastanish Krishna Arpayadihan Surata Vardhanam Krishna Shokanashanam Swarita Venuna Krishna Sushtu Chumbitam Itara Ragave Smaranam Ranam Vitara Viranas Krishna Tedharamritam Atati Adbhavan Krishna Ahnikananam Yugayate Krishna Tvama Pashyatam Kutila Kuntalam Krishna Srimukam Chate Jadau Dikshatam Krishna Pakshma Kridrisham Patisutanvaya Krishna Bratra Bandhavan Ativilangyate Krishna Antya Achyuta Gatah Katividastabodh Krishna Gita Mohita Kitavayoshita Krishna Kastya Jainishi Rahasi Samvidam Krishna Hrichayodayam Prahasitananam Krishna Prema Vikshanam Brihadura Shriyo Krishna Vikshagamate Muhurati Spruha Krishna Muyate Manah Prajavanaukasam Krishna Vyaktirangate Vrijinahantelam Krishna Vishwamangalam त्यजमनाक्षणास् कृष्ण त्वत्स्पृहात्मनां स्वजनहृदृजां कृष्ण यन्निषूदनम् यत्ते सुजातचरणाम्बुरुहं स्तनेषु मीताक्षणै प्रियदधीमहि कर्कशेषु तेनातवीमतसि तद्व्यततेन किं स्वे पूर्वादिभिर्भ्रमतिभिर्भवदायुषां नः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय So yesterday we discussed the Damodar Ashtakam first 5 verses. So today we will go on to the 6th verse. Tomorrow we'll discuss 7th. Day after tomorrow is the last day of the Kartik month called Kartik Purnima. Then we'll discuss the 8th verse and then we'll also discuss about Tulasi Shaligram Vivaha Mahamahotsava. So yesterday we saw how the Lord's lips are like bimba, right? Most chumbitam bimba raktadaram me manasya virashtam alam laksha labai. May this eternal form of Lord Krishna, who is like a Bala Gopal, who is this Bala Gopal form of Vrindavan, may this form be ever manifest in my heart. Today we go to the 6th verse. Namo Deva Damodar Ananta Vishnu. Right? Namo Deva Damodar Ananta. Ananta means Ananta is the representation of Balaram, right? Ananta, why is the name significant here? Because while Satyavrata Muni is trying to glorify the Lord's glories are Ananta, right? Vishnu, and he is also called by several names according to the opulence of the Lord, right? Damodar, Ananta, Vishnu, Prasida, Prabho Dukkha Jalabdi Magdam, right? Prabho Dukkha. Right? Prabhu means master, oh Lord. Dukkha Jalabdi Magnam. Please be pleased upon me and remove this dukkha from my heart. Right? Dukkha. What is the dukkha that Satyavrata Muni is experiencing? Right? Satyavrata Muni is singing the glories of the Lord. Yet he feels his heart is filled with dukkha. What is the dukkha he's experiencing? The dukkha that he's experiencing is separation from the Lord. Right? All this time he's meditating on all of these leelas happening. So he's requesting the Lord to give him personal darshan. So the dukkha is caused because of separation from the Lord. Kripa drishti vrishtyati deenam batano. Right? Oh, give me this transcendental eyes. Right? Some people say, oh, show me God. Let me see that God. Only then I will believe that Lord. Right? Even in today's reading, we were seeing how the Lord cannot be seen with our material eyes. Right? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena Santha Sadaiva Hridesh Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achinta Gunaswarupam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Vajami. When we develop love for the Lord in our heart, then Lord Krishna will manifest himself in front of our eyes. When our eyes become anointed with the love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we will be able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Okay. So what is the important thing here? Kripa Drishti. Right? Even for viewing the universal form, Krishna had to give Arjuna, who is a pure devotee also, Krishna had to give him that Jnana Chakshusha, right? So that he could see the form of the Lord, universal form of the Lord. Right? Similarly, Satyavrata Muni is asking for that Kripa Drishti. Kripa Drishti Vrishtyati Deenam Batano Grihanesha Mamagyam Edyakshi Drishya. Drishya means I want to see you, O Lord. Please be merciful unto me. Kripa Drishti, give me by your own mercy, give me the drishti by which I am able to see you and become visible to my eyes. And what is that? Deenam Batanu. Deenam means I Deen Dayadranat hai Mathura Nath Kada Avalokya se Hridayam Twadaloka Gataram Kaita Brahmyati Kim Karomyam. Right? I Deena Dayadranathe. That means I am very fallen. I am Deena, but you are Dayadra. I Deena Dayadranathe. Right? That means I am wretched and I am very much fallen, but you are my Lord. You can deliver me. Right? Mathura Nath Kata Avalokya se. Right? Oh, Mathura Nath, you are the Lord of Mathura. Right? Srimati Radharani is actually singing this. for Lord Sri Krishna. And later on, Madhavendra Puri sings these beautiful verses, right? Ai Deena Dayadra Nathe. Oh, you are the Lord of Mathura, you are the Lord of all the people, especially you are the Lord of me, right? I am wretched, I am very lowly, right? Here also, Satyavrata Muni is exhibiting his humble position. I am Deenam, but Deenam Vatanu Grahanesha Mamagyam Edyakshi Drishya. Grahanesha. Graha means I am situated in this world, but this world is full of sorrow, right? Because Krishna has called this world Dukhalema Ashashvatam. So we cannot get permanent happiness in this material world, but we can get that permanent happiness when we are able to see the Lord. When our eyes get anointed with love of Lord, then we can see the Lord personally face to face. And in that state, there is no more happiness. One becomes transcendental to three modes. One becomes transcendental to threefold suffering simply by becoming immersed in Krishna Bhakti. Then we are immersed in the ocean of worldly sorrows, but we will move from this ocean of worldly sorrows and we will immerse ourselves in transcendental Bhakti. We will immerse ourselves in the service of the Lord so that all of this dukkha, this dukkha jala means we are burning in the ocean of material existence, but with mercy of the Lord, we will be able to enjoy transcendental bliss. So that is in substance, the 6th verse. So now we'll quickly sing the Damodara Ashtakam, and devotees can also offer Deepdan. Namamishwaram Shachitanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamana Yashodha Bhiyoluka Ladhavamana Paramrishtamatyantato Drutagopya Namamishwaram Shachitanandarupam Latat Kundalam Gokule Brajamana Yashodha Bhiyoluka Ladhavamana Paramrishtamatyantato Drutagopya Rudantamuhurnetra Yogmam Rajanta Paramboja Yugmena Satanka Nedra Mushvasakam Patri Rekhanka Khanda Pitagraivam Damodaram Bhaktivadham Iti Drikshvalila Hirananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajantamakyapayandam Tadishitagneshu Bhaktairjitatvam Puna Prematastam Sadavriti Vande Param Deva Mokshamna Mokshavadhim Va Nachanyam Vraneham Varisharapiha Idam Deva Purna Gopala Balam Sada Me Manasya Virashtam Ki Manjaye Idam Te Mukambojam Atyanta Nilay Vitam Kuntralai Snegha Raktecha Gopya Mushumbitam Bimbarakta Me Manasya Virashtam Malam Laksholavai Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Satita Prabho Dukha Jala Bhimagna Kripa Drishti Drishyadi Dinam Vatanu Vihani Shamamadyam Vedyakshi Drisha Kuviratma Jaubhadha Murte Vayadvad Vayamuchitau Bhakti Bhajo Kritaucha Tata Prema Bhaktim Swakame Prayacha Namokshe Graho Me Sridhamodareha Namaste Sudamne Suradipti Damne Vadiyodharayata Vishwachadame Namo Radhikaye Tvadiya Priyaye Namo Anandalilaya Devaya Tubhyam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Shri Radhe Jaya Yashoda Damodar Yashoda Damodar Yashoda Damodar Shri Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Gurudev Gurudev Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai Ananta Koti Gaur Bhaktavind ki jai Samed Bhaktavind ki jai. All glories assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to Shishi Guru and Sri Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. So Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining in. Let's see who all we have today. We have Lakshmi Priya Mataji, Karpakavali Mataji, Hema Mataji, Shobha Mataji, Sannu Harsh Prabhu. Maybe Prabhu is joining us for the first time today. Thank you, Prabhu. Ranganathan Prabhu, Shobhami Mataji. Thank you all very much for joining in. Ancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Krapasindhu Devacha, Pritanam Pavnibhyo, Vaishnavibhyo, Namo Namaha. Ananta Koji Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll meet you all tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock. We'll be discussing in the morning how we can all sponsor. There are about 617 members in Medhavini group. Each of us do one Bhagavad Gita. We'll be distributing 617 Bhagavad Gitas minimum, right? And one Bhagavad Gita is, the small one is 200 and the big one is 400. So I would urge all the devotees to at least sponsor one Bhagavad Gita, and we should do it for every yatra that we are connected with, right? If we are connected to 5 yatras, 5 books, right? Or we can contribute 108 or whatever is up to our capacity. And then we also discussed how it has to pinch us. Whatever we are contributing, it has to pinch us, right? We have to feel that we have contributed something, right? Otherwise, we contribute 1 rupee, we don't know. We contribute 100 rupees, we don't know. In our where and how we spend 100 rupees, we don't know, right? So we have to contribute something that will pinch us. Yes, Karpagoli Mataji.
Mataji, I want to know that small book and big book you're telling now 200 and 400. The same thing, Mataji, Bhagavad Gita as it is by Prabhupada only, no?
Yes, it is by Prabhupada only. The small one is, the small font size. So it is not really suitable for, people who read on a regular basis at home. That small book is where you carry, right? For example, if you suddenly have to give a class and you open the book, you look at the words and then you give a class. Or you suddenly you have a doubt, you want to refer. Then those are small books you keep in your bag. Small pocket size.
Prabhupada's purport is there.
Of course, I mean, we should not even distribute a Bhagavad Gita without Prabhupada's purport, because we don't know who's having faith in the Lord, right? Because it is an offense to actually preach Krishna's glories to a person who's faithless. But what are we doing? We are giving Prabhupada's book, right? When we give Prabhupada's book, anybody who's faithless also will develop faith by reading Prabhupada's purports. So we are not distributing Bhagavad Gita.
In Tamil it will come. In Tamil can come.
Yes.
I want at least 60 books. I want 60 books, Mataji.
Yes. I will deliver it, Mataji. I will share the account details tomorrow. Once you transfer, then I will have it sent across to you, Mataji. Like we had the Bhagavatam set delivered to you. I can send across. Tamil books also is available.
Mataji, put it in the group.
Yes. I'll put in the group. I'll put in the Medhavini group, and then once you transfer, you tell me what the quantity, which language, whether pocket size or big one. Accordingly, we can have it delivered to you. Okay, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Book Distribution Marathon ki jai. Ananta Koji Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Karpagwali Mataji is a role model for everybody, right? Whoever wants to preach. She already sponsored 3 Bhagavatam sets during the what is that month called? Somehow it's skipping me. She contributed 3 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, and now she wants to contribute 60 Bhagavad Gitas. Haribol! So we're all inspired by Mataji. According to our capacity, we should all try to do our best. Thank you, Mataji, for being a great inspiration. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Gurudev ki jai. Thank you. Meet you all for Brahma Murta chanting session tomorrow.